Hi, Lori.
Hello. Good morning, good morning.
Lori, you were asking if we need anything from three locations as a classes, and I was thinking about having a command class only with 2 or 3 people and one teacher. Just
Okay, May, are you with the Santa Cruz office?
I am.
Yeah, that's something that you would ask, touch bases with Elaine about first, and that's something that you would ask Jason to help you with. So what I was asking was for that joint team meeting that we're doing once a month, if you guys have ideas for that, to let your team leader know what your
Just for
ideas
team
are.
meeting.
Sorry,
You mean just for team meeting?
right, that's what I was asking about.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll give it like 1 more minute or so. I'm going to jump in, and if people are late, I can't really go backwards. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. My name's Laura Gleason. I'm the team leader over at the San Jose Gateway office. And today we're going to do something a little off topic with Ignite. With the way they run the Ignite schedule, we're allowed a couple of market specific topics. And so one of the topics that I find is really important for brand new agents is to make sure that you know how to maneuver through the CAR library and the contracts library and Zipforms and that sort of thing. The first thing I need to know of everybody that's here right now is who does not yet have a license?
I do not.
Okay.
My exam is September 19th.
Okay, so Dennis, you don't. Elsie, I know you don't. Who else besides Dennis and Elsie? Is everybody else licensed? Monica, Zach, May, I know you guys are. Everybody else is licensed?
Yes.
It's helpful if you got, yeah, Clifton, you just got yours. Good job. It's helpful if you guys communicate with me. That helps. So for the ones who are not licensed yet, excuse me, you don't have access to what I'm going to show you. So just follow along for now and watch. And then once you get your license and you actually join your association of realtors, when you join an association of realtors locally, that also makes you part of the California Association of Realtors as well as the National Association of Realtors. So you have to have a license number to do all those things first. And so one step at a time, study, 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 pass your exam, get the license number, and then we'll get you joined into the association so that you have access to everything I'm going to show you. So today we're going to talk about Zipform templates, and Zipforms is a library that we use that has all of the contracts that we use, or I'm going to say 99% of the contracts that we use and supporting documents that we use in a transaction. And that library is located in the California Association of Realtors website, okay? And so I'm going to be maneuvering around a bit in the California Association of Realtors website. I'm also today going to be going into the MLS listings information because they go together in terms of what we're going to be doing. Okay, now Clifton, I know you just got your license. Have you actually gone into CAR and created a profile for yourself and that sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay, good job. Because that's the other step, is that once you join, you have to go into car.org. CAR stands for California Association of Realtors, car.org. And you have to create your profile there, which then is how you log in every time so that you have access to all of the information inside of car.org. So if any of you are brand new, it would really help. Okay, I'm just going to do this. May I know you're already in here? Carla, how about you? How long have you been in real estate? You're muted. Are you typing for me? Carla, how long have you been in real estate?
Sorry. I got my license. I started full-time in May.
Okay, cool. So you're already in, right?
Yeah.
And I know Monica's been in for a while. Elsie, you're not there. Zach, you already have your profile, right?
Yep, since March.
Okay. Yeah, because I know we've done this before. Colleen, how about you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. And Chrissy, how about you? Are you good too?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So for those of you who have already been in, what I found is really helpful is to learn how to make templates. They save you a ton of time. I've been in real estate for 20 years now, and I spent, I'm embarrassed to say, probably, well, first of all, the Zipforms didn't even exist when I first started in real estate. We were using carbons for everything. So we would get our documents from the Association of Realtors, and we had to fill everything out with a pen. And so there weren't even all the online forms that you guys now have. There was not e-signatures or any of that kind of stuff. I've been in for a while. I'm dating myself. But at some point we got the online forms, and we got this library that we had access to inside of California Association of Realtors. And then we had the ability to create templates, which makes our life a lot easier. And I think I probably, well, I was using the CAR library for probably 3 or 4 years before I even learned how to make a template. So teaching you guys how to do that is going to save you a lot of time. Okay. I am going to put inside of the chat a document that's a PDF that if you guys would open, it's going to be a cheat sheet for you. So let me do this. Renee showed me how to do this yesterday. Let me get into the right. Sorry, just bear with me for a sec. I need to get to Drive. Why is Drive not showing up? Okay, hold on. I'm going to do this a quicker way. It's not showing up for me that way. So I wonder if I save this document to my desktop, if that'll be easier. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Save to desktop. Okay, now let's do it again. Because you guys really have to be able to see this document. So hold on, sorry. There it is. Okay, I just posted in the chat the PDF that I'm going to first be working on with you guys. So this PDF I created in it, and I'm going to share it on the screen as well. This ends up being your cheat sheet for how to for what forms you want to have in your templates. And so we're going to be I'm going to show you how to create templates for a listing, and I'm going to show you how to create templates for a purchase or that you would use for a buyer. And this document that I just shared with all of you guys in the chat is 2 parts. It's 2 pages. This is the first page. I have some instructions right there. And then the second page has more specific information per market center. And I will go over that in a few minutes. And I have, for those of you who are not part of the Gateway office, I have some different information for you on that. So just want to make sure everybody has that. And then I'm going to, did you guys all?
I don't see it in the chat. Did you put it in the chat? Because I don't see it.
It's
Sorry.
in the chat. The zip form.
Did you just join us? Who is that? Sarah?
It's Colleen.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do it again.
I'm on my phone. I don't know if that matters.
It's
It
Colleen.
might.
there, and I already downloaded. It's because you're on the phone, maybe that's why you don't
Yeah.
able to see it.
So I also, for everybody who's on that are registered, I will email it to you afterwards as well. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank you.
as long as you're on with us, I'll email it to you. Okay. Because it is a really good cheat sheet. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is I'm now going to take you guys into the California Association of Realtors website. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. You guys are going to do this with me. So this is what basically the home page looks like for California Association of Realtors, okay? And for those of you, for those of you who don't yet have your license, you're not going to be able to log in and have access yet. So you're just going to have to follow along. So when we are going to do a transaction, we're going to either have a listing or write an offer for a buyer. All of our paperwork exists inside of this website. And I usually access it here where it says access transactions. That's where I go. So I'm going to click on that circle and it's going to take me, it's going to ask me to log in because I had not already logged in. And then it's going to take me into the Zipforms area. So it just validated my membership and this turned yellow. Can you guys still all see all of what I've just did? Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me know if what I'm saying isn't matching what's on the screen. So now I'm going into Zipforms. And my Zipforms is going to look different from some of you guys only because I've been in real estate for quite some time. I'm going to close this little thing out. Here's what it looks like. There's a dashboard. So if you click on dashboard, that's your main screen. And then you can click on transactions and then you can click on templates. We're going to go to templates in just a second. What you're going to notice is I have the view I'm in transactions right now. And I don't really ever delete anything. So I have a lot of years of transactions in here. Okay. I suppose I could delete them. I just have other things to do with my time, so I don't ever delete them. And the view that I prefer is this larger view. If you look over here to the right, you can do the hamburger view, and that makes them look a little bit smaller. I just kind of like that bigger view, and so I usually use that view, but that's a personal preference. So today we're going to start. This is basically, like I said, we're in transactions. My teammate Mary and I in Santa Cruz, we have a new listing coming up. So you'll see right here, yesterday I was working on listing paperwork. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the templates part. Now, I want to explain what's important about templates for you guys. Templates save you time. If you create templates, you already have certain documents that you're going to pull into every transaction that you do so that you don't have to recreate stuff every single time. So it's meant to be a time saver. So when I click on templates, what you're going to see here is that I have a few different templates that I've created. I have a gateway seller template. I have a gateway purchase template. Those are the two that I'm going to work on with you guys today. I also, because I'm
Laura,
a team. Yes.
I don't think we're seeing what you're showing.
Yeah, I don't think we see what you're seeing.
All
No.
right.
Yeah.
Let's start over.
It's just the car website. It wasn't showing the templates.
Now, is it showing them now?
Oh, no, it does.
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay. If that happens, I'm going to have to stop share and reshare because I think what happens with these Zoom meetings is sometimes when you move to a different screen, it doesn't move with it. So thank you for letting me know. So did you see the transactions though when I was in transactions?
No.
Okay, hang on. Let's start there. Thank you very much, you guys, for telling me that. Okay, so let's reshare this. All right, I am in Zipforms right now. You guys didn't see that before?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so up here, if you look at all these tabs up here, there's dashboard, there's transactions, and there's templates, okay? And right now I'm in transactions. That's where it defaults. It opens up inside of transactions. So if you guys are just getting started, you're not going to have all these transactions down below like I have, because again, I've been using this for a very long time. So if you see me scroll down, I have a lot of transactions in
wow.
here. I don't know.
Yeah.
This says 2013. So I have almost, you know, okay, yeah, 2013 is my late. So I have a lot of transactions. Like I said, I've never deleted them. So that's what mine looks like. Over here on the right, there's the little hamburger. I call it the hamburger. If you click on that, it'll change the view down below. So tell me if you see when I click on it, did it change the view down below?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're seeing it. So it's up to you. That's a personal preference. I just kind of like the bigger view. My eyes are not great, so I like being able to see things bigger. Okay, so that's kind of what the transaction tab looks like. Okay, and when you are representing a buyer or a seller, you create a transaction and then all of the paperwork is inside of there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the templates tab. And I'm going to click on it, and if you guys don't see it, I'll stop sharing and I'll reshare. So I'm going to click on templates. Did it switch for you guys or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, now you can see all the templates I created. So again, templates are something you create ahead of time that houses all the documents you're either going to use for a buyer or for a seller, and then you can pull that template into each transaction. So if you create a template ahead of time and put your contact information in it ahead of time, you don't have to redo it every time. And like I said, for a number of years in my business, I was redoing it every single time, and it takes, basically this way you can get your contracts written in about 15 to 30 minutes. And without doing it this way, it's going to take you well over an hour. Now, I'm going to tell you that I can actually write a contract in about 15 minutes because I've been doing it for a really long time. When you're brand new, it takes you a little bit longer. And of course, sometimes there's nuances in a contract that are more complicated, and so that can take more time. But what we want to do is we want to have some uniformity so that you're using the same things in each contract. So that PDF that I shared with you guys, let me stop sharing this. I'm going to go back to the PDF for a second. This that I'm going to, if you either got it from the chat room already or I will email it to you later. I can't remember who it was that was on their phone. Who was on your phone?
Colleen.
Colleen?
Me.
Colleen, you can see this though, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So what I have done
Zara,
is I have,
can I ask you something? I'm sorry for interrupting, but we are having internet situations. So my daughter has a school going on. I think I will need to hang up. This is recorded, right?
Yes,
I can go back and
yes.
watch it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I
Thank
gotta
you,
go.
May.
Sorry. Bye.
Okay, good luck. So what I have created is I have created the typical documents that you use in a listing and the typical documents that you use with a purchase. And I've created a template around that. Every single transaction might have some other documents that are a part of what you do, but there are typical ones that you use in every transaction. And those are the ones that I have created a template for, okay? So on this cheat sheet that I'm giving you are the documents that you would typically use either on a listing or a purchase, all right? And down below here, you'll see that I have given you the instructions. Go to car.org. And first of all, it says up here, you must have registered with car.org first before you can even do any of this. So you go to car.org, then you click on, actually that's not called the Zipforms link anymore. I'll change that and email it to you guys. I think it's called transactions link now. So I'll have to change that. Enter your username and password to log in, and then you click on the templates tab. So I'm basically, what I'm doing right now is I'm walking you through how I create this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go back to sharing, back to the other screen. And so what I've done here is, because I am a team leader in one office and I do a lot of training for this office, but I'm also an agent in Santa Cruz, I have different things going on. So I've got some gateway things that I do more for training. I don't sell at Gateway, but I also have this one that says listing seller template here and purchase buyer template here are the ones that I use in Santa Cruz. And then you'll notice I have a few others because I've been in real estate for quite some time. There were a number of years where we were doing short sales, and there's different paperwork involved with a short sale. So I created templates for short sales. Not something you guys need to really worry about right now. If that comes back around in real estate at some point, it's something that you could do in the future if you felt like you needed to create short sale templates. I also had an REO template because there was a lot of REOs that were being purchased for a few years, and there's different paperwork involved with an REO. So those are just the different templates that I've created over the years. So for today, REO stands for real estate investment owned. In other words, it's a bank owned property that an owner foreclosed on, and the bank took it back, and the bank now owns it, and it's been foreclosed on, and so the bank is the one selling the property. So we call that an REO.
Nice.
And a short sale is a pre-foreclosure property. That's a property that someone is upside down on. They owe more than it's worth, and when they sell it, they need to sell it for short what is owed. So they have to get the bank's permission to sell it for less than what they owe on it. If you don't know those terms, those are things that you should write down and study and research and learn a bit more about. We're not going to spend any more time on that today.
Right.
So today we're just going to focus on the typical transactions that are going on right now. So to create a template, you're going to see there's a plus sign up here. It says new. You're going to click on that, and you guys, I'm going to click on it, and please tell me if the screen doesn't change. Did you see something
It
pop
changed.
open?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good more.
Great. So now it's saying I can create a listing template or I can create a purchase template. Okay. So if I click on create a listing template, did it pop a new screen open?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to type the name, and I just recommend that you call that listing seller template. So I would type in listing. I know it's a bit redundant, but it doesn't hurt to be redundant sometimes. Listing seller template. And then typically what I do is residential. So you're going to click residential. And then don't worry about this auto apply thing. Do not automatically apply. You want it to stay on do not because you're going to apply it. Okay. So this is what you're doing. And then you're going to click save. Okay. Which I'm not going to do because I already have my templates created. So what that then will do is it will create one of these templates for you. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to open the template that I've already created. Okay. Actually, I want to go back. Sorry. Let me go back to my list. I want to explain do you guys see the list again?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to do one more thing. Right here where I click on that, where I clicked on new listing, down here where it says select template, you're not going to select a template because you're creating one. So you're not selecting anything. We're creating today. Okay.
Okay.
Just want to make sure you understand it. So now I'm going to open the template I've already created. So what happens is all the things on the cheat sheet that I mentioned to you, I have already added to my template. So the first one on the cheat sheet is called cover sheet. And you'll see that's the first thing I have. The next thing is called residential listing agreement. That's the next one I have. The next thing is called market conditions advisory. I have that in there. Then seller's instructions to exclude from MLS I have in there. I have key safe lockbox in there. That one you'll use if there's a tenant involved. Agent visual inspection, modification of terms, and then all the coronavirus addendums are in here. And then trust advisory is also in here. Okay. So all of those forms are on your cheat sheet. You're going to say, well, what does she mean she has those in there already? Over here on the right-hand side, you see a blue box that says all forms. Okay. I'm going to click on that right now. Tell me if something, did it say forms library? Does that open up for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the California Association of Realtors forms library. You're going to notice it's from A to Z. Look at this, you guys. Look at all the
Wow.
different forms we have, starting alphabetical order, that we can use for a transaction. And so what I'm explaining to you is that what I have pulled into my listing template are the typical forms used in a listing. Does it mean there won't be others? No, it doesn't mean there likely will be others, but those you can pull in individually depending on what you need per transaction. So the only ones that I have pulled in over here into the middle are the ones that you use every listing transaction. And you'll notice that they're already in blue because I've already pulled them in. That's why they're in blue. The first few forms you're going to see in this library have a dot in front of them. So dot cover sheet, dot residential listing agreement, and dot purchase agreement. Why do you think those are the first forms?
Most important.
Most used. And probably I would agree with that too. Most important and most used. We use a cover sheet all the time. We use residential listing agreement all the time, and we use residential purchase agreement all the time. So they put those right at the top for you. So you didn't have to search in alphabetical order for them. So those three are right at the top. And then of course there's this 48-hour notice one, which is a number. So it's above the A, and then from there it goes in alphabetical order. Okay. You can type in here. So look at that. I'm going to type in Corona, and all the coronavirus forms show up. So you can search for things. Did that work when I did that for you guys?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
You can search for things by typing into the little search bar here as well. Okay. So when you're creating your template, so let me go back here to list, and remember here the plus sign where I said create a new listing template, and we called it seller listing template, and then it's residential. I'm not adding a template because I'm creating one. Actually, let me just put practice here so it creates a new one. And then I click save. It's going to open up this template window. Did that open for you guys?
Yes.
And look, there's nothing in there because I need to go over here to all forms and I need to add. So once I add it, it shows up in the middle, and I'll add listing agreement and it shows up in the middle. Let me close that real quick. See that? So they now show up. Okay. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
that's what you're going to do. And the ones that I have on the cheat sheet are what I'm recommending that you use for a listing template and a buyer template. So I'm going to go back here to my templates, and I'm just now, it's showing the practice one that I just created, which I will delete later. What I want to do now, does everybody follow me? Because do you have questions before I go any further? Hey, Monica, you've been in real estate for a couple of years, haven't you?
Yes.
Have you ever done this before?
Yes.
It's helpful, isn't it? It's really helpful to do this.
Very, very helpful.
Yeah, it saves you a lot of time. So, okay.
Hey, Laura.
So, yes.
Hi, it's Chrissy. I was wondering if you did templates from a previous broker and moved, do you have to do your templates all over again with the, you know, that little box at the bottom, Keller or wherever you came from?
Well, I'm going to say, I think you need to open the template and look at what you have in there. And definitely the next step I'm going to take you on, you do need to change. And so let me see if Chrissy, if this answers your question.
Okay.
So right now I'm just going to go ahead and open the gateway seller template again. I'm going to open that one. Let me know, did the screen change?
Yes.
Okay, and then now I have all the documents that I wanted to have, which again are on your cheat sheet. And then the most important document that you want to fill out in a template is the cover sheet. If you fill it out here, when you pull it in, all of the information that you filled out in the cover sheet will auto-populate into your transaction each time. So Chrissy, this is the part that changes per brokerage. So
Right.
the cover sheet is 4 pages long. And most of the information on the cover sheet, you wouldn't put in a template because it's going to be different each transaction. And so you're going to put different information in based on your transaction. However, on page 3, this part here, the seller's broker is the listing agent. That's me in this template. So this part I am going to fill out in my template so I don't have to fill it out every single transaction, and that information will just auto-populate in. Okay, so that's the second page of your cheat sheet. You'll notice that I put in the listing broker information and the selling broker information for the gateway office. You guys is going to be slightly different name, slightly different address for your brokerage. And then of course your contact information is not going to be mine. You're going to put your own in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, you may ask me, well, what is my broker license number? You see over here to the right where it says listing office DRE license number. All 3 of our offices have a different brokerage number for the MLS, or for the DRE, I should say. I'm going to give you that information right now. If you're here with Gateway, this is the number. It's 01484292. So that's what you're going to put in there for Gateway. If you're here with Santa Cruz, here's your number. You guys ready?
Yes.
01473789. Santa Cruz, 01473789. That's your brokerage number. And then of course your license number, which for some reason mine is not in there. Oh, probably because this is more for practice. Your license number is going to go here, not mine, yours. Okay, so your brokerage license number goes up here and your license number goes here. Okay, so fill that information out. So Chrissy, this is the part that would change because you're with a different brokerage. Okay.
Okay.
All right, fill
I'll
that
ask
out, and then you want to, if I had added, so like if I add my number, this is my DRE number. Now it's telling me I can hit this, where's the save? Now I can hit the save button and save it, okay? So if I click save here, because I put new information in, this is highlighted and I can click save, and now it's saved it, okay? So you wanna make sure you fill this information out with your info in your template and then save it that way. A couple of other things that I do with the listing template is I have an escrow officer and an escrow company that I always use with my listings. The company I use is Old Republic Title Company in Santa Cruz, and the escrow officer that I use is Leslie Alvarez. And so I have already plugged that information into my template, okay? Because my goal is to use her every single time. So that part I've put in and I save it that way. Also, remember, this is just the cover sheet. It's 4 pages long. If you scroll down here below that selling broker information, I also, escrow and title are the same company in California. So whereas I use Old Republic Title Company for escrow, I'm also using Old Republic Title Company for title. So I have put them in there as well. Now, that's about it on the cover sheet of what I fill out. On the template, when you actually go into a transaction, you're going to fill out more information. But on your template, that's about it. Now, do you guys understand there's selling broker's information, and up here there's buyer's broker information? This is my listing template, so I filled out listing information, okay? If I go back to all of my templates here, and I click on the Gateway purchase template, did that open for you guys?
Yes.
And I click on cover sheet, I now put my buyer broker information here because I'm representing a buyer on this one. This is a purchase. So I'm not the listing agent. So I'm not going to put listing here. I'm the buyer's agent. So I'm going to put buyer's broker information. And then for some reason, my 01473789. Did I give the Campbell one?
No.
For dual agency, you'll fill in both?
Yeah. Well, yeah, not in the template though.
Okay.
Because you're going to screw up your template. You would fill it in transaction. So I'll give the Campbell one in a sec. Let me put save. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, Campbell, are you guys ready for your number?
Yes.
0132-7739. Again, Silicon Valley Campbell office 0132-7739. Okay? So that's going to be that your office's DRE number. And then of course you put your own DRE number in there. Okay, so for a buyer for the buyer cover sheet, remember this first page of the cover sheet says buyer information, it says seller information. Why would you not fill that part out in a template?
Because you're not going to have the same seller every time.
Or the same buyer. So that's something that gets filled out in the transaction. And I'm going to show you how these pull in. The property information is going to be different every single time, so you're not filling out property info. Again, though, escrow, I'm hoping with my buyer that I get to use my escrow officer. Most of the time you're using who the listing agent's already chosen. Legally, though, the buyer does have a right to choose their own escrow officer, by the way. And then down here, again, you're going to fill out either buyer information if it's your buyer template or listing information if it's your listing template. That's about it, you guys, on the cover sheet for your template. Okay. A couple more things though. I'm gonna go back to, I wanna show you a little trick or a little suggestion, going back to my templates. I'm gonna go back here to the seller listing template. There's a couple more things that I do fill out on the template. So I'm actually gonna go into the listing agreement here. I'm gonna open that up. Let me know that it opens for you. Did it open?
Yeah.
There's a couple more things that I like to fill out on the listing agreement. Oh, so see how, because I put that information in the cover sheet, look at that, it auto-populated for me. It's showing who the brokerage is and it's showing that I'm the listing agent. Isn't that awesome?
Mhm.
Yay! So you don't have to type that in every time. When I actually see there, it auto-populated again. So when I actually go all the way to the actual listing agreement, I actually put 6% in there. I've auto-populated that in. If anything, it's good, what am I trying to say?
Confidence?
Good confidence. It's something to hope for every day. So it's something to wrap your mind around. And then, but it's actually very powerful, because then when I'm meeting with my seller, hopefully in person, and they go, well, I'm not sure I agree with that 6%. Let's talk about that. Then I can actually, with a pen, cross it off in the side here and say, well, let's do 5% with, if I can do this for 5% with you, do we have a deal? And I can write it with a pen right there. I can cross the 6% off and write here in the margins 5.5% with a pen. The other thing that I also auto-populate in my template is 2.5% to the buyer's agent, because that's what our company does. We give 2.5% to the buyer's agent. So you'll notice some math here. If I'm getting a 6% commission and I'm giving 2.5% to the buyer's agent, what does that leave over for me as a listing agent?
3.5.
3.5.
So that gives me extra money to pay for all of the marketing, possibly the staging that I'm going to do for this seller. So that's your value proposition of explaining to them, well, you know, I'm the one who's going to be spending money on this listing to make sure you get the best marketing available, the best exposure, and that the property looks great, best photography, everything. So that's why you're going to pay a little bit extra for me. I also put 90 calendar days here. I'm not going to go into details today of what that means. You need to take a listing contracts class in order to understand that part. The other thing that I also auto-populate into my listing form is right here, multiple listing services, page 2, item 5C. What is your broker's MLS? Put MLS Listings Inc. in here. That's our multiple listing service. They're called MLS Listings Inc. If you put that into your template, you don't have to worry about that. It's in there and it's done. Okay? So just a couple things that are added to my listing contract that I have in my template. Okay, so now what does this mean? When Laura says she's created a template, how does that involve a transaction? All right, so I'm going to go back to transactions here. And I'm going to create a new transaction. I'm actually using one of the listings from my office. Brian Porter has a listing in the office. I pulled that information yesterday, and I'm going to pretend to write an offer. If it was a listing, basically you're going to go to this plus sign. We'll start with a listing really quick. I'm going to go plus. I'm creating this is actually a transaction, not a template. So I am taking a new listing, and I clicked on listing, and I'm going to put 123 Main Street. I always put the last name of my seller, and then for today I'm going to write practice because I don't want to get it all screwed up. So 123 Main Street, I always put the last name of the seller, and then I don't put practice. That's just for me today, okay? And this is a residential listing. It's going to be active, and I am now going to go to this templates window, and I'm going to add my gateway seller listing template to my transaction. And then down here at the bottom, it says save, okay? So now what you're going to see, I'm actually going to go back to the list so you can see it. Right here, it now shows up down below. 123 Main Street seller practice. You guys see, you all see that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so if I click on that and I go to documents, which is right here, I go to documents and click on documents, all of those templated documents have now shown up. inside of that transaction. And then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the cover sheet, and you're going to fill out the seller's information now. So now is where you're going to go. You're going to start with page 1, and this is a listing. So now I'm going to put John Hancock as my seller. And I don't really fill out a lot more information than that. I do put an email address in because I want to be able to email it to them so they can electronically sign it. Okay. So I usually put their names. If it's a couple, you're going to put both. You're going to put one of them there. The other one's going to go down below. That's why there's 2 sections. So Mr. Hancock and Ms. Hancock, whatever the couple is. And then you're going to put an email address in there for them so that you can email it to them so they can electronically sign it. That's about all the information I put in for seller. And then of course you're going to put your address in, 123 Main Street. We'll just put that in. It showed up. And then I always like to put the parcel number in too. You want to put a parcel number in. I don't really fill in a lot more information than that. This actually should have populated where it said SoCal here for the city, and then the county is going to be Santa Cruz on this one, and the state, CA, and then the zip code down here, 95073. I don't know why it did it that way. I'll take all that out. So you're going to fill this kind of information out, and then you're going to put a parcel number in, whatever the parcel number is. Okay. I'm just putting some numbers. That's not really what a parcel number looks like, but I'm just showing you. So that information is going to go in because this is the actual transaction form. And really that's about all I put into the actual cover sheet. Okay, so I want to click save right here. And then when I actually go back to my forms here, click on my forms, there we go. It's going to show cover sheet here. Does that show up for you guys?
Yes.
And then I can actually go to the listing agreement. And if you look down here, John Hancock showed up as the seller now. Okay. If I scroll down to the actual listing paperwork, 123 Main Street has shown up. It auto-populated into the contract. Okay. So it makes it a lot better if you use the cover sheet for some of your information. Now, that was for a listing. I want to go back to, I'm going to go back in just to transactions. I'm going to be here inside of transactions. And I want to show you how to load it for a purchase, because there's another trick that I want to show you that's a major time saver. Okay. So we're going to create a purchase transaction. So I'm going to go to the plus sign where it says new, and I'm going to click on that. And now I'm doing a purchase. So I'm going to click on new purchase or offer. And I'm going to choose Brian Porter's listing at 1057 Summer Shore Court. Look at that. It pops up. So I'm going to click on that one. And then it is residential. It is active. And I'm going to pull in my buyer purchase template. But I'm not going to hit save yet. You'll notice that this thing over here says MLS Connect, okay? I'm gonna click on this hyperlink to MLS Connect. I hope that, did it show up for you guys?
Yes.
And I'm actually gonna put the MLS ID of Brian's listing in here. So you start with ML and then 81804333 is his ID. I'm gonna click on include photo. And then I'm going to click on find. Let me make sure I did the number right. Yes. I'm going to click on find and watch what's going to happen. Okay, look at that. It pulled in all of the already, because it's a purchase, it's already on the MLS. So it pulled everything in and even pulled in a picture. And I'm going to say, yes, I want you to use this listing. So now you'll notice that picture's there, and I'm going to be using the listing information that's already from the MLS. And then I'm going to click save. So now it's going to open up into that transaction. And check this out, you guys. When I go to documents, it's got all my documents that were already in my template. Now check this out. When I go to cover sheet, I don't know why it opens at the bottom. I'm going to start at the top. I have to put my buyer information in because I'm going to be representing a buyer. So I'm representing Jane Doe on this one. Jane Doe. And then of course I would put some sort of email address in there for her. But look at this. It's already got who the, it's also a Doe. It's also got who the seller is. And if I scroll down, it pulled in all the MLS information already for me. I didn't have to put it all in because I used MLS Connect, okay? It already pulled all that in. And then look at that. It already pulled in it already pulled in Brian Porter's information as the listing agent for me, okay?
Don't you have to get MLS Connect set up somehow?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you how to do that.
Okay,
Perfect segue. So I'm just going to click save on this. I'll get there in a second. And then if I go back in there to my forms and I actually click on the residential purchase agreement, I'm going to open that one up because that's your main contract that you're filling out for a purchase. Look at this, you guys. When we get to the actual purchase contract, it's already pulled in a whole bunch of information for you. So it's a huge time saver. Okay. So again, let me go back. I just want to go into transactions because the most important thing I want to make sure you guys remember is that you're creating a template which is used inside of your transactions. Don't create transactions inside of templates. It screws you all up. And that's kind of a beginner mistake. Create transactions inside of transactions and just create a few templates that you're going to use inside of your transactions. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So who was the smart one who just asked, was that don't you have to have MLS Connect set up to be able to use it? Who asked me that?
That was me, Colleen.
Huh, Colleen, you're brilliant. Okay. So what happens for brand new agents is you may not see that MLS Connect thing because you don't have it set up. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up. So let me actually stop sharing. Actually, yeah, let's go there. And then I'll come back and do the final. Okay, so let me make sure I get into MLS listings really quick for you guys. All right. So now I'm going to go into MLS listings. All right. Does this look somewhat familiar for everybody who already has a license?
Yeah.
Okay, this is our MLS listings. Okay, and when we search for properties, we go into Matrix to search for properties. And we click on the Matrix dashboard and we search for properties there. I actually just want to go back out and be in the main menu. So I'm going to go back to the main menu and I'm going to connect MLS listings to what's going on with Zipforms by going to My Info. And right here, you're going to see my info. Down here where it says business info. You guys seeing a picture of me there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't I look gorgeous?
Yes.
I didn't want to
Business
say it.
info. Business info. Down here where it says your NRDS ID, if that is blank for you, it will not connect you to MLS Connect for MLS listings. You have to put your NRDS, I call it your NRDS ID. That's your National Association of Realtors ID. And everybody, when you join all of these associations, when you join SCORE or Santa Clara County or Santa Cruz County Association of Realtors, you're going to get an NRDS or NRDS ID number, and you have to have that number in there. It's very easy. You just click edit. You're going to put your ID number in there. You're going to click save. It takes about 5 minutes for it to connect back to Zipforms. Maybe 15 minutes, but then you're going to be able to go back into Zipforms and use that MLS Connect part. Okay? It's that simple. Colleen, did you know it was that simple?
I think I've had problems with it. Maybe I just needed to try that and people I asked didn't know that.
Ah, I'm so glad you attended this class. I had someone help me figure this out. Oh gosh, I don't know, a number of years ago when we were doing a class like this and people were like, well, how do I get connected? And we figured it out. So I have to admit, somebody else figured it out for me. But that's the trick right there. You just have to make sure your NRDS number is in there because that's how they're connected. Okay?
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Reference. I called last week for support regarding this issue. I called CAR specifically and they couldn't even figure it out. So this is very helpful.
Well, I
Wow.
think the way I think the way we figured it out a few years back was actually the instructions are in the MLS somewhere. It's in MLS listings somewhere. I don't know that it's in car. But anyways, that's the trick, super easy trick. That's kind of the best kept secret around. It was probably worth your hour with me today just for that trick alone. So I'm just gonna go back over here to, back into the Zipforms area. We have a lender coming on in 10 minutes to talk about, lending basics. Michael Seglio from Wells Fargo is going to be joining us. I got through this rather quickly, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And again, you guys got the cheat sheet that's in the chat, and all of you that are registered today, I will email it to you as well.
There's also some trainings on YouTube regarding Zipform Plus that's helpful.
Awesome. There's so many webinars and short videos that you can watch for so many trainings now, in addition to what we just did here. Questions? Anybody have, does anything, this is a great time to ask. If I went too fast or you have a question about something, we've got a few minutes for you to ask a question. Was this helpful?
You were very helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Laura,
Yes.
did you ever fill out, like, say, an offer through your cell phone when you were just outside and then time is really limited? Did you ever done that?
I have not. Have you, Monica?
No, because, it just doesn't really work well.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to practice to do that, but I feel from the cell phone, it just like, you don't feel very safe.
I
So
also,
just wonder.
yeah, and I don't think I think you can do it from a tablet. But first of all, for me, for the cell phone, my eyes are not good, you guys. It's so tiny when you do it that way. I just don't have good eyesight for that. And so I need to at least be on, like I'm on my laptop right now. For me, I need to do it that way. And I'm not sure that I have signed DocuSign documents from my cell phone. That's easy. DocuSign works really well. And Zipforms e-signature also works really well from your phone, but I have not tried to fill out a contract from my phone. I think it might work from a tablet. For me, I just will use my laptop and get to the the closest Wi-Fi I can get to so that I can use my laptop. Of course, you can also do hotspots with your laptop as well. Okay, I'm going to show you guys another trick or another cheat sheet thing. And you guys ready for another cheat sheet? Unless anybody has any other questions. How many people do I have today? I got to look. 50, oh, awesome. 15 of you. Okay, you guys are all going to get this from me. Okay, I'm going to go back and share another little cheat sheet thing for you then. Actually, let's go back here. Let's just take a look at this one more time. So again, this is the cheat sheet that you guys are going to get from me if you didn't already download it in the chat. In fact, if any of you joined late, I will add it right now one more time, because if you joined late, you're not seeing it. So let me put it in one more time. And so the Zipforms cheat sheet is right there in the chat room. And then let's take a look at it again. So what you're seeing here are the listing template that you should create and the purchase template you should create, and all of the forms that I would recommend that you load into your template. Now, I have added the coronavirus forms in there. Those are new forms this year. They're very important this year. At some point in the future, we won't need them anymore. Let's all pray for that. And so you could take those back out of your template at that point if you wanted. These are your instructions right here on how to go into CAR and get to where I was in terms of Zipforms and that sort of thing. And then when you're actually creating your first purchase or your first listing contract, it's showing you the instructions on how to do that. And then I also have, for the Gateway people, I have all the contact information that you need for Gateway. Of course, if you're with the Santa Cruz office, you're going to have different information here. And if you're with the Campbell office, you're going to have different information. And then, of course, don't put my information in there. Put your own information in there. And then you're going to have your office's DRE number as well as your personal DRE number. So this is the DRE number for the Gateway office. And I will read the Santa Cruz DRE number again right now. Santa Cruz is 0147-3789. Again, 0147-3789. And Campbell's is 0132-7739. 0132-7739. Let me put those in the chat really quick. Okay, there's Santa Cruz, 0147-3789. Campbell is 0132-7739. So basically, Mike Sibilia is the broker for our 3 offices, and he has a different broker number for all 3 offices, okay? So one other just fun little cheat sheet thing to show you. Another thing that I actually put in my template for purchase, so buyer purchase template, I went to templates. Is that all showing for you guys? Are you in templates with me? And I'm gonna go to buyer purchase. And on the actual residential purchase agreement, I'm gonna open it up. I actually add something on page, I think it's page 9. Hold on, let me get there. Page 9, item 31, expiration of offer. I actually have in my template where it says buyer's agent / Laura Gleason. So what's this part of the contract? This offer shall be deemed revoked and deposit, if any, shall be returned to the buyer unless the offer is signed by seller and a copy of the signed offer is personally received by the buyer or by the buyer's agent. The buyer doesn't really personally receive the offer. We receive the offer and we show it to the buyer. So I have auto-populated in here buyer's agent / my name. Why did I do that? I'm a bit redundant on my contracts. I like to be a bit redundant. If I just put my name in, but I am on vacation or I'm in the hospital and I have another agent helping me with this transaction, then if by putting buyer's agent / my name, then I've got both covered. If you don't want to put your name in, you could just put buyer's agent in and that gets you covered because it means you, or if you have a friend helping you while you're on vacation. But I like to have that auto-populated in there, basically stating that the buyer's agent is the one who's going to receive the offer, okay? So that's another little trick that I have inside of my template, and by having it be in my template, it then auto-populates to every single one of my contracts. I think that's all though for the purchase contract. It's going to be different every single time, and so I don't have anything else that really shows up in my purchase contract except that one thing. And I already showed you guys on the listing contract, the listing template, the couple of things that I do. I do 6% in there. I put MLS listings in there. So those things auto-populate every single time. All right, any other questions? And again, this was how I'm going to stop sharing. Is there anybody writing anything in the chat? No? Okay. And Michael, you're here. Michael's here with us. Hi, Michael.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Woohoo. Happy hot Friday.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm done with my part. And I don't know, Michael, I don't know, how long have you been on with us?
Probably for like the last 6-7 minutes.
Do you have anything with Zipforms that you would add?
I actually have that. In terms of Zipforms, I'm going to go over the things from a lender's perspective on the purchase contract. So I have about, I got about 4 to 5 key points that we're going to go over in like this crash course, Mortgage 101. And then I'm going to open up to Q&A on the back end.
Awesome. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael. Michael, I just made you a co-host in case you need to share your screen if you have any forms that you're going to be showing or anything like that. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You guys, when this is all done, I will grab everybody who registered and I will email you then my cheat sheet. Okay.
Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome. Thanks everybody. And thank you, Michael, for being with us.
You're welcome.
I'm going to let you take it over.
Wonderful. All right. So my name is Michael Seglio with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. I've been in the industry with Wells Fargo since 1999, starting as a banker, moving up the chain of command in the banking world to an assistant branch manager. And then I actually made this switch over into mortgage in 2003. So just a little bit of background for me.
Hey,
Since
Michael.
2000.
Sorry,
Yep.
Michael. Do you want to try your picture this time, or you think it's going to be wonky? So we had Michael on a week ago, and his internet connection was not going well, and so we found that if he turned off his picture, he had a better connection. So that's why he's not showing himself right now. I don't know. Do you want to try it or not?
I could try. I mean, last time it kind of crashed on us.
It
so.
crashed. We lost him. So are you guys okay with him just being pictureless right now? Is that okay with everybody?
That's fine with
Thumbs
me.
up? Okay, let's just keep it that way then. Sorry, you guys, I just wanted to explain it to you. Okay, sorry for interrupting, Michael.
No problem. I'll show you at the very end of this, I'll log on so you can see my pretty Corona haircut that I've got going on here. But just to make sure that, we don't have any interruptions like we did last time, let's just proceed forward without my pretty face at this time. Okay, so I was given about an hour, it's 10 a.m. to talk to you guys about mortgage, okay, in regards to just general things and as a new agent working with mortgage consultants. So what I'm gonna do is I got about 5 action topics that we're gonna talk about, okay? And at the very end of this, we will attempt to put my face on here and give you guys some time for Q&A. So as new agents, basically what I would definitely tell you is get to know your mortgage consultants, all right? Know your lender. Have a couple lenders. Understand that each individual lender has their own niche product, okay? In this current environment we're in, guidelines are changing rapidly, and they're probably going to continue to change rapidly in this environment until we get out of our current situation, the pandemic. But it's pivotal for your business to know what's going on inside the world, just like we have to know what's going on in your side of the world. So the topics we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about pre-approvals. We're going to talk about terms and acronyms. We're going to talk about the purchase contract. We're going to talk about knowing your lender and what kind of questions you want to be asking them. And then we're going to just kind of talk about general mortgage stuff, okay? And that's going to be the very last topic. So what is very important as agents in this market is, understanding where your clients are in the process. There are 3 different ways that we can approve your clients. There's first off called a pre-qualification letter, okay? Basically what a pre-qualification letter is, your customer or a customer calls a lender and says, hi, I've got an 800 FICO, I want to buy $1 million house, I've got $1 million in the bank, and I make $1 million per year. I would say, great. They're looking for a pre-qualification letter. I would be able to generate a pre-qualification letter based upon their verbal statement, okay? I haven't vetted out their income. I haven't vetted out their assets. I'm just taking their statements and I'm providing them with a pre-qualification letter. That letter can be used to make an offer, but that letter specifically says that if you want to take the next steps to get pre-approved, please do so. So basically that a pre-qualification letter is just a statement and has no bearance. I have not vetted out that customer, okay? So if a pre-qualification letter is presented to you by your buyers, they're pretty much not really in a position where they can start making offers because they actually haven't had their credit pulled. They haven't had the lender take a look at their income and their assets. So you want to have a conversation with them. Hey, I see this pre-qualification. If they say no, I highly advise you to do so, okay? So the next pre-approval, you could say, is an actual pre-approval, okay? So we have a pre-qualification letter, moving to the second stage, which is a pre-approval. A pre-approval means that the lender has vetted out the client's income, assets, and credit, okay? So we have had them either go online, submit an application, or they've met with us in person, or we've taken their application over the phone. We've pulled their credit. generally in this day and age, especially with the software that we have, we're able to do a verification of employment right on the back end, okay, when we're doing the application. So a pre-approval is a system automated approval. We put everything in, we run the decision engine, we get a green light, I give you a pre-approval letter, okay? That is generally what we see most people do and work with in this market. And that's totally acceptable. In the Bay Area, in general, I generally like to tell people to take it to the next step, okay? The next step is a fully underwritten commitment letter, okay? What that means is we send your client's file in after they've been pre-approved to an underwriter to underwrite the entire file like it's a live deal. This process is free. It takes about 2 weeks to do because we treat it as a real deal, and priority is always given to real deals, like a real deal purchase. So I would tell you that it takes about 2 weeks to go ahead and get a fully underwritten approval. So how this works is your clients get a pre-approval. I'll give them the pre-approval letter for $1 million with 20% down. While they're looking for a house in the background, I'm usually able to talk them into taking the next steps and going for a completely underwritten approval. And what this does is it puts the file in front of an underwriter. An underwriter vets out all the documents and approves your clients, our clients, okay, the mutual clients, and stipulates out what is needed. This is basically doing your homework up front. And what this does for you is it puts you in a position to be more competitive with your offers. We've done all of our homework up front and we've pre-underwritten the file so you can actually make a stronger offer, an offer in terms of a timeline stronger offer with a 21-day close or a 25-day close. Now in this market, that speaks volume, okay? Everything in the Bay Area, if somebody requests something today from you, they actually expected it yesterday, right? So this gives you a competitive edge on your offers. In addition, you can remove the contingency for the loan. So you've removed a contingency. It would be your choice to move forward with an inspection contingency or an appraisal contingency, and we can go for a shorter timeline. So this seems to be working here as a lender, and majority of the time, a seasoned home buyer is all for this, okay? They understand, they've gone through the process. They know what it's like to make an offer, to get their offer rejected, to have contingencies, to feel that 30-day timeline. Our first-time home buyers are a little leery of these kind of things, taking it to the next steps from a pre-approval to a fully underwritten approval. And generally, in my experience, what I see is after they've made a couple offers that have full contingencies and lost all of those offers, they then kind of turn around and they're much more open to the idea of having their file completely underwritten and approved. So the likelihood of getting a file accepted with an underwritten approval is much stronger. Now, with this current environment and when you're working with your mortgage consultants, they're not always going to be your mortgage consultants. You're going to find a client that's already got a pre-approval, and that's great. You just need to fully vet out that mortgage consultant and talk with them. Okay, hey, how's this file looking? What's the hangups? Do we have any issues? Where are you in the processing? Are you completely underwritten and approved on this file? And the reason why you're going to have this conversation is when you present your offer, your mortgage consultant really should be calling on your guys' offer. So specifically in my environment, for my business, every single offer that's placed, generally I'm calling. I would say 1% of the time I'm not calling on that offer. And I'm calling to the listing agent on the behalf of the lender to vet out any questions that they have. Sometimes they don't realize it's an underwritten file. And as soon as I let them know, like, hey, listen, we've already gone through underwriting. This is completely underwritten at this time. I just need a purchase contract and a prelim to move forward. Those are my stipulations at this time. For the clients, they just have to sell some of their stock because we've already done all of our homework up front. Listing agents love this, okay? And this is how we're winning offers. It's a very, very competitive environment. As you can see, we are dealing with a housing shortage, and we've got all these people who are living in apartments that just cannot stand it anymore. So we're seeing 16, 18 offers again. We're seeing cash offers. We're seeing dramatic things. And for every house, we have at least 30 buyers that are able to make an offer on that property. So it's very important that you are currently in this environment working with your lender, okay? If you're making offers, call that lender up. Is there any additional guideline changes that have been made? Okay, guidelines are changing on like about a weekly basis right now, okay? Here at Wells Fargo, we did not have any changes this week, thank the heavens. But I do expect things to continue to move into a dramatic standpoint where lenders are going to be more conservative, especially in the jumbo market, okay? In the conforming and high balance conforming market, that's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, it's kind of business as usual, okay? But in the jumbo market, with the big lenders like your Bank of America, your Chase, your Wells Fargo, your Citibank, your US Bank, we have all tightened up quite a bit in this current environment. So please make sure that you vet out anything before your clients make an offer. Okay, giving you an example. One of the things that is very, very alarming to lenders right now is self-employed borrowers, okay? The self-employed world is going to be hurt the most with this coronavirus, okay? Specifically, business owners that have storefronts, okay? We're talking about restaurant owners. We're talking about shops, boutiques, and stuff like that. We're really concerned that their doors are not going to open anytime soon, and then they're going to go out of business or be very, very dramatically hit by the impacts of COVID. So Wells Fargo has taken a standpoint where in the jumbo market, self-employed borrowers have to have 30 months of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, okay, after the down payment has been vetted. So that is the most dramatic move I've ever seen in Wells Fargo in 21 years, which just means we're being cautious because we don't know how this is going to play out. Now, the example that I'm giving to you, that guideline change was made about 3 weeks ago on a Friday, okay, early morning, and was kind of rolled out to us in an email. And I had some customers who are in San Diego looking to buy about a $2 million home. The wife is an anesthesiologist, and the husband is a W-2 software guy, okay? So what actually happened is we had about 18 months PCL. PCL is a new acronym. It's post-close liquidity. That means PITI, basically your total monthly payment in savings. So they had 19 months, and that day that we were making that offer, I had to inform them, hey, listen, we've had a guideline change and we have to push this up to 30 months. So what we were able to do for those specific clients was ask for a gift, okay? And we got a gift for about $85,000 from her brother to offset the reserve requirements. And that is totally acceptable. We just have to show that the clients use the gift funds for the down payment, and that is acceptable. So we were able to get around that. The clients did not get that offer because the property sold for about $400,000 over asking. We knew that was going to come. Yeah, we knew it was going to come. And these are first-time home buyers also. So they've lost out on about 5 different offers because of their contingencies, and they are currently in underwriting as we speak. Nice. So with your first-time home buyers, the way that I put it towards them is do your homework up front. Let's get this done. And how I explain it to these guys is you've always done your homework up front. You went to college, you went to school, you did all this work up front to set yourself up for a great career and a great job. Buying a house is just the same thing, okay? So I usually can sell about 95% of everybody. It's the first-time home buyers that 5%ers that are just kind of nervous to begin with. Up front, they don't really. They've just never experienced it. They've never gone through it before, right? So life is about experiencing things, right? So your first-time buyers, they've never experienced anything before, and this is their first time in this environment. So be patient with them, make those offers, let them feel, their offer get rejected, but be patient with them, and then talk to them about the next steps. Talk about doing your homework up front. Use that word free, okay? A fully underwritten letter is free. there is no charge and there's no obligation. So you can come through us and get completely vetted and approved, right? Make a non-contingent offer on the loan with a 21-day close, and your clients can leave me, okay? They can go to Bank of America because Bank of America has better rates at that day. Now, in this environment, Bank of America is about 35 to 40 days to close, so that's going to be a problem, okay? And we're seeing, you know, clients, first-time home buyers are very, very rate sensitive, okay? That's my job. Let the rate sensitivity be dealt with by the lender, okay? If you can understand where the market's at, but mostly put that back on the lender. Like, we're going to put things back like, you know, what's the value of this home? What's the comp? I'm going to say, hey, speak with your agent. Let's take a look at a CMA report and see what's going on. They're going to be the specialist in that world, where you're going to defer back to me to be the specialist in the mortgage world. And I highly advise that. In this day and age, do Zoom meetings with the lender and the buyers, or get on a joint call. I get on a lot of calls with my agents and the buyers, okay? Lots of emails, but it's a comfortability factor, right? So in this market, if you can talk your clients, you know, or show them the value of doing a fully underwritten approval, that will make your offer stronger, and you will be writing less offers, okay? Because your offers are going to be accepted. So, do you guys have any questions in regards to pre-qualification letters, pre-approvals, or underwritten approvals at this point?
Not me. You fully explained it.
Okay.
What's your expiration time frame? Is it always 90 days, or do you have to keep getting it back or start over the process?
It's a very, very good question, okay? So a pre-approval is generally 90 days. A pre-qualification, there is no timeline because that's just a piece of paper, right? A fully underwritten approval, we usually are able to push that out to about 120 days. With underwriting taking 2 weeks, you're basically getting like an extra 20 days on an underwritten approval versus a pre-approval. Now, the difference between the two, when the credit report expires, okay, a pre-approval is very simple. I get authorization, I redo their credit report, I can get a letter out to them in 10 minutes. A fully underwritten approval, when the credit expires, I have to document that's okay to pull credit. And I have to send that to the processor. The processor will re-pull credit. At that time, we're going to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, you know, your bank statements have expired, your pay stubs have expired, and your credit has expired. Can you please update these items for us? And then we get them and we send them back to the underwriter to fully vet out approval again, okay? That takes less time versus the initial submission. So I'd probably say about a week on that. But the difference between the two is pre-approval, I have full ability to change the numbers on a whim, okay? You can have some customers that are making an offer, you know, you call me, we make an offer at 8 o'clock at night for 800 grand, and you get a counter, and we're gonna accept that counter at 850, and the borrowers have that availability. I get on the phone with the borrowers and I'm able to generate a new pre-approval letter for 850 within minutes, okay, as long as my system approves things, okay? If we go for a fully underwritten commitment letter, I'm subject to the underwriter's turn times. So let's say that we go in for $1 million. The borrowers are looking between 1 million to 1.1, but they only want to get approved for $1 million, okay? And then they find that dream house at 1,050,000. That happens every single time, okay? So I have a commitment letter for $1 million for you, and we found this house that we want to make an offer and write an offer at 1,050,000, okay? I have to go back to the underwriter and wait 4 days to get that updated. So the lender, me, I will always mitigate this information up front, okay? I will let the clients know, listen, if you are looking between 1.1 and 1.2, let's get you approved at 1.2. That means that you're approved for anything below 1.2 with 20% down or 25% down. But this gives you flexibility. And in case we see something on the topper end, we don't have to go back to the underwriter and wait, because we're going to miss that opportunity, okay? So I will do that part, okay? Me, I'm talking in general for lenders, okay? I've had 2 offers last month where we did an MCAL, and of course they found that home that they wanted over their approval limit. And I just used an in-house term, MCAL. And MCAL inside the lending environment means a fully underwritten approval. So 2 of them last month, offers were at 1 million. Borrowers were both approved for 950 with a fully underwritten approval. And I got both offers. I spoke to the listing agent on both and said, listen, I've got a fully underwritten approval for 950. Borrowers have the availability to go to 1 million. We've showed that to you with the proof of funds. We just never expected to go this high, but we just, this is a dream house, right? And both offers I was able to accept with an approval of 950 with a purchase price of 1 million. I closed those loans on Monday. Okay, so the power of your mortgage consultant and his sales ability is very important. We are not winning over the sellers, we're winning over the listing agent. I'll never talk to the sellers. You know, in 21 years, oh, I'm sorry, in 19 years, I maybe talked to the sellers twice, and the sellers got a hold of me and they were pissed off that we were late on the close of escrow, and they were yelling at me. And that happens a lot. Okay. I'll tell you that the mortgage guy is the jack of all trades, right? I have to know how to do my job. I have to know how to do your job. I have to know how to do the appraiser's job, and I have to know how to do the title company's job. Okay. So majority of the time when things happen, the heat falls on us. Now, when I'm talking with my agents, we're strategizing. And I'm saying, hey, listen, okay, Jim, if we make this offer, okay, in this market right now with a 7-day loan contingency, I'm not going to make that 7-day loan contingencies with the pre-approval in the conforming world. But make that offer, let's get it, and then I'll deal with the listing agent and take the heat for the extension, okay? I'll make up an excuse. I've got the best excuse in the world that we're in a pandemic. Okay, so sometimes we strategize, okay? And I'm saying, hey, Tim, listen, I won't make that date, but put it there, okay? We'll buy some more time so we can get the offer accepted. And, you know, the blame's gonna be pushed on me. As long as you know this up front, that we're kind of playing a game here and we're strategizing, let's go for it, okay? It works out every single time, okay? And it's gonna be me, the mortgage guy, that's gonna be updating everybody on turn times, SLAs, where we are at with the market. So I specifically have a loan right now that's a conforming loan, and the conforming world is very, very slow. And we're going to touch on that at the very end of this. And I'm going to miss the contingency for the appraisal. I've known this up front. Now, I've been talking to the agent, the listing agent, every single day. He's not really happy with it, to be honest with you. But I give him a call every day at 4:30, and I keep updating him. I'm going to miss the contingency by about 3 days. And they're a little bit nervous because they're contingent on the sale of this home on their offer. And then that offer is contingent on the sale of this home. So it's like a conundrum, right? By talking with this agent night over night, what I found out was he's my neighbor. He lives literally 25 houses down the street, okay? And we've formulated actually a great relationship where, because of my ability to talk to him and be available, I've had the ability to work with him, and he's working with his sellers, bringing them comfort, saying, listen, we're in this environment. I know we have these contingencies. The lender's not going to make them, but he's called me every single day, updating everything, right? I got loan approval this morning because I placed it on a rush. So we're going to remove loan contingencies and inspection contingencies, not appraisal contingency today. We're going to push that off until Thursday of next week. But because I'm working with him and we're removing other contingencies, he's fine and the sellers are fine. So basically what I'm trying to explain to you is, if you can't get a hold of that lender that you're working with, generally it's because you don't have a relationship with them, but pound them. They need to be available. In this environment, we should be talking to everybody all the time, okay? And if you have your own agents, mortgage guys, just make sure that they're available for you. That's very important. I would say the number one thing in this industry, in this business, is communication. This is sales. Nothing's ever the same. No contract is ever the same. They're always different, right? And every client's profile is different. So if there's one consistent thing that always wins, is communication. Every single time. We can usually communicate and mitigate throughout any situation, even if it's a bad situation, as long as we're communicating, okay? I've had horrible situations that I've seen over the last 17 years in mortgage. I've seen a house burned down in escrow. I've seen, after we've signed the closing docs in a new build, that somebody stole all the copper piping underneath the houses in the new build community about 2 years ago. That was odd, okay? And we worked through it, and we worked through with the builder, and the builder kind of said, hey, that's your problem. And I said, no, it's actually your problem, because that's your property at this time. And when we appraised the property, it had plumbing. It's not our problem at this time. We're gonna have to extend, and the builder paid for those extensions. They weren't happy about it, and it kind of got a little bit nasty at one point because it was a weird, awkward situation, but we mitigated through it and we closed, okay? Communication, communication, communication. All right. So I don't know if you guys are all brand new agents into this industry, or you're just making a switch into this new company. So I'm gonna go over some just general terms that you guys should be aware of, acronyms, right? It's very, very general, but it's things that you should know and be aware of, because you're gonna hear these terms from mortgage guys. Before I move on to step two, these are very good questions in regards to timelines and so on and so forth. Do you have any more questions about pre-approvals?
No.
All right, I'll take silence and no. Okay, so terms. What we're looking at is the lending environment, and the real estate environment has a lot of terms, okay? Just like anything, they've got acronyms. They love to change them monthly, okay? Get used to it. They're gonna change everything. The name of it is always gonna change. That's just the way things work. But what I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you about are very, very consistent terms that will not change, consistent acronyms. So the first acronym that everybody should understand and know is LTV, loan to value. You need to know this. If your clients are putting down 20%, their loan to value is 80%, okay? The loan to value basically is letting you know they're borrowing 80% of the value of the home. So when a lender says, you know, the LTV is 80%, that's a 20% down payment. They're borrowing 80% of the home's value, okay? 20% down. Coupled on top of that is a combined loan to value, okay? Combined loan to value indicates that there's a first and a second on this loan, okay, on this home. In the purchase environment, you guys aren't really gonna hear this term too much. It's kind of gone away, but it probably can come back up in the future, okay? So that means that we stack the first and second loan. Let's say that your customers only have the availability to put down 10%, and we take a look at the market, and I stack a first mortgage at, you know, 75% loan to value, and a second mortgage or an equity line at 15% for a combined loan to value of 90%, okay? I would structure a deal like this to get better pricing in first position and alleviate mortgage insurance. So there are different things that we will do to put the borrowers into a better position. You will rarely hear this term combined loan to value in this current environment, but you know, moving forward, when we're out of this, we'll probably see a lot more loans going to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac in the conforming world and high balance conforming world. So you will see more of this term, combined loan to value. And then you'll hear things like DAPs, down payment assistance programs, okay? Down payment assistance programs are a lot of work, mostly for the lender, and that is something specifically that we have to do our homework up front, okay? If you have a client that's looking for a down payment assistance program and they're just a willy-nilly client, you are wasting your time, okay? If they haven't fully vetted out that down payment assistance program, you're literally wasting your time. So you need to understand where they are in the process. A down payment assistance program is 2 different loans. We run a loan with the lender, and then we run a loan with the county, okay? And we have to do them both at the same time. Anytime we're dealing with the county, we're dealing with the DMV, okay? We're at the mercy of their slowness. They move at a turtle speed, where the rest of the market moves at a rabbit speed. So just be aware, down payment programs really do not exist in the Bay Area because everything is so expensive. There are income limits, okay? There are a lot of different things that come into it. So you're really not gonna run into those things too often. But since we're talking about this, just understand the complexity of those loans, and they take longer. They even take longer to close. So you just need to be very aware when you're working with those kind of things, okay? Questions you're going to receive about APR, annual percentage rates, okay? And APR is not your interest rates, it's the annual percentage rate. It is the cost of doing business in a rate form, okay? So the best way, if this term ever comes up to you, to explain this to anybody is the APR indicates that you have cost to the loan. If your APR is higher than your interest rate, you will have costs for this loan. Every purchase, generally 99% of the time, has an APR that's higher than the interest rate, because we have a lot of one-time fees that they're going to be experiencing and paying for in a purchase where you would not be paying for them in a refinance scenario, okay? So if a client ever asks you, what is an APR? You can say it's an old school way of indicating to the borrowers that there are costs associated to this loan. If your APR is higher than your interest rate, there are costs on your loan. Please talk to your lender. That's that simple, okay? Very simple. A lot of people make a big deal about APR. Your APR is not your interest rate. When I say that you have an interest rate of 3.5 and your APR is 3.66, okay, your payments are based upon the 3.5. The APR is just a number showing you and indicating that there's costs, transfer tax, prepaid interest, insurance that we're paying up front, homeowners association dues that we're paying up front, transfer taxes, okay? Expenses that you only incur when you're buying a home. So that's a very, very easy way to mitigate that out, explain it to them, and then turn them back to the lender, because that's not your forte, okay? You're gonna see a lot of double terms. There is escrow, who we open up escrow with. And there's also, from the lender's perspective, an escrow account. An escrow account from a lender's perspective has 2 different terms. We can call it an escrow account or an impound account. That is when your clients will pay their taxes and insurance to the bank on a monthly basis with their first mortgage payment. Generally, that indicates that the borrowers are doing FHA financing or limited down payment financing, or putting anything less than 10% down. If any clients in any market put less than 10% down, they will mandatory have an escrow account, and they generally have mortgage insurance, okay? So you will hear escrow account or impound accounts from a lender. They are one and the same. ARMs. So the difference between loan products, again, you just need to understand what the product is. And as you get further into this, you'll see more transactions, you'll see more stuff, and you have a better feeling about rates. But ARMs, or the acronym is adjustable rate mortgage, okay? It lets the borrowers know that they're going to have a loan that has a very low teaser front end rates, but the rate's gonna go adjustable in a certain amount of time, okay? In ARM product, we have a 5-1, 7-1, and 10-1 ARM. The first number represents the fixed portion of the loan. On a 5-1 ARM, your rate is fixed for 5 years. The 1 lets you know that after 5 years, your rate will go variable 1 time per year for the entirety of the loan. So on a 5-1 ARM, your rate is fixed for 5 years. Your rate will go variable year 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 17, and 20, okay? Now, the idea of an ARM is a designer loan, okay? And this is just more general information for you if your clients bring up these questions to you. So why would I use an ARM in the Silicon Valley? I would use an ARM because we usually see a lot of people switching homes for school districts. I am selling this house to get to a better school district over here. I don't need a 30-year fix because I'm only buying this house because it's cheaper for me to move to this school district and buy a house here versus doing, you know, private school. And when we're talking with these clients, they're only going to the school district for 4 to 7 years, and then they're going to leave that area. We would use an ARM loan for that. So an ARM loan is a designer loan. I'm going to be in this area for a certain amount of time, and then I'm going to sell and move. Or I fully intend to pay this home off within 7 years. So you will get a better interest rate on an ARM versus a 30-year fixed, because you're taking more risk. Everything is risk-based lending. Again, with ARMs and in this environment with most lenders, again, 99% of the lenders, you will not have any prepayment penalties for paying off, paying down, or selling their home, okay? So ARMs versus fixed, of course, a fixed rate. We have a 15-year fixed, 20-year fixed, 30-year fixed, and I actually even have a 10-year fixed that I can offer clients. That's pretty plain Jane. We all know that means one payment fixed for 30, 15, 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Discount points. So in this environment, and since 2008, we haven't seen people being charged origination fees. Okay. Origination charge. An origination charge says, hey, I'm going to charge you 1% just to do business with me. Okay. We used to see that in the past, and that's more common with brokers versus direct lenders. And you will not really see that so much in this day and age with people as educated as they are and with information out there. So origination fees is basically a cost to the lender for doing business. You only usually see that with a broker. You do not see that with direct lenders. Sometimes you see it with correspondent lending, like your in-house guy that sits there in the real estate office. What you'll find is those guys aren't as competitive as the big guys, but sometimes they are more competitive with off loans, like harder loans, weird loans, okay? So get to know your guys in-house also. Discount points. So what a discount point is a borrower pays money up front to lower their interest rate, okay? So giving you an example, today's market rate for a 30-year fixed is 3.5%, okay? And the borrower wants to pay 1% upfront. So they've got $1 million loan. They're going to pay 1% upfront to lower that rate from 3.25. I'm sorry, 3.5 to 3.25. That's going to cost them
points.
That's paying points. Yep, that's
Yeah.
paying points. So you're paying $10,000 upfront to lower the interest and the cost of your loan over the lifetime of the loan. So how we look at that is from 3.5 to 3.25, let's say that you save about $150 a month, all right?
Mm-hmm.
We would then save about $1,800 a year. And over the lifetime of the loan, you'd save about $54,000 in simple interest in payments, not taking into consideration the interest, just in simple interest payments, okay? So that is the power of paying up front. In this environment, with rates as low as they are, we don't really see too many people paying discount points, okay? But I just want you to be aware that they do exist. They are tax deductible. And how we do this is when we talk to clients, we say, okay, you're gonna pay 10 grand up front. It's gonna take you about 5 years to recoup that costs, and you're gonna have 25 years of savings at $150 per month moving forward after you recoup your costs in 5 years. Again, it's something that a lender is gonna vet out with the clients, but you should be aware of it if you're taking a look at it and your clients are gonna ask you these questions, and they are gonna ask you these questions, okay? Sometimes clients lean on either the real estate guy or the mortgage guy more, and it's whoever that they're feeling comfortable with, right? So they will ask you these questions and you will have to talk about these things. If you do not have an answer for them, it's totally fine. I've been doing this for 17, 18 years and I don't have the answers for everything. I just say, give me an opportunity to get back to you with that, okay? And that's perfectly fine in any environment at any time in your career to say something like that. Just make sure that you get back to them when you say you'll get back to them. Give me 24 hours. Get back to them in 24 hours. It's really important. Okay. Mortgage insurance. So mortgage insurance is specifically for loans that have less than 10%. I'm sorry, less than 20% down. Okay. It's an industry-wide standard. There are some loans that we can offer in the jumbo world with less than 20% down that don't have mortgage insurance, or they have mortgage insurance baked into the actual rate, okay? But understanding what MI is the most common term on mortgage insurance is, it's insurance because you're putting less than 20% down. And in case you default on that loan, that insurance will cover that default, and it protects the lender and it protects the person that purchased the loan, okay? Last term that's specific to Wells Fargo, and there's millions of terms, but I just kind of put down the more important ones. And I said it was more specific to Wells Fargo. It's not. SLA. So SLA is service level agreement, all right? And when a lender talks to you about their SLA, their service level agreement, that's mostly around appraisals and underwriting. Our appraisals, our SLA for appraisals are 10 to 12 days. That's what the AMCs, the appraisers are telling us that they can do them in, okay? So you're gonna hear SLA a little bit more high level conversation from a mortgage guy, but it is a term that you would hear, okay? And I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Okay. So terms, before I move on to purchase contracts, hot buttons and things that, you know, everybody needs to be aware of, are there any other terms that you guys know of that you want clarity on?
Well, you were mentioning about the first-time home buyer putting less than 20% down and how that can change their private insurance, their mortgage insurance. But you also made a comment about if they put more than 10% or 10% that they wouldn't have to necessarily get that.
So two different things. So okay. Anytime that you have less than 20% down, generally there's mortgage insurance. Right. Anytime that you have less than 10% down, there's generally an escrow account or an impound account, okay? So there's two ways to default on your home, okay? One, you don't pay the lender. Two, you don't pay the county, all right? So if you don't pay your property taxes, they can foreclose on the home. Now, if the county forecloses on the home and takes it from you, the lender loses everything, okay? The lender loses their entire loan. The county takes that home. The lender is really not happy. So as soon as we find out that your guys' the client's taxes are in default, we will automatically put them into an escrow account. We will pay their taxes due, okay, and then force them to pay that in their mortgage payment on a monthly basis, okay, because this is a partnership. Now, mortgage banks are not in the business of owning real estate. Okay, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, we're not real estate companies. We do not want to have a tangible house. That is not our forte. We are lenders. We want loans, okay? If a mortgage is repossessed or a house is repossessed, unless there's 40% equity in that home, generally the lender loses money, okay? So we will work with clients to not have to foreclose on them. We would rather do a modification or a short sale before taking that property and doing a foreclosure, because we lose money. And then there's a lot of steps that we have to do to be compliant to resell that home. And that's not our business. Our business is not taking homes from clients and selling them on the secondary market or in like a bulk sale. We're here for loans. So we'll work with the clients to mitigate out of that, and we don't want that to happen. Okay. Purchase contracts. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, for the home insurance, does that include VA loans? If someone put no down payment or little.
So VA loans are completely different. Yeah, VA loans will have an escrow account and no mortgage insurance. Okay, with limited down payment. Now, VA loans are very specific. Okay, they can go up to about 900,000 with 0% down. And with a VA loan, I absolutely would have you vet that out and go through the entire process because they take longer. So I would tell your clients to go do their homework, submit the file, get it underwritten and approved, because there's a lot of different documents that we need, like the DD 214 that tells us their entitlement and how they were discharged and stuff like that. And then again, we're working with the government, who is slow, the DMV. okay? Anytime you're working with the government, they work at the DMV pace, so just be aware of that. We do see a lot of VA loans, okay? And they are awesome loans. They can do, you know, very unique things with VAs. So all my VA loans, I completely underwrite them before we make offers in the in the market. Okay, so I'm going to move on to topics about the purchase contract, okay? As a mortgage consultant, we will vet out the purchase contract. We are going to be looking for signatures. We're going to be making sure that it's fully executed, okay? Very commonly, we'll see a missing signature or a missing initial. It happens, okay? Clients are only human. They're doing it for their first time. We'll work with you. We'll send that back to you and say, hey, can you get this filled out, okay? It's a contract, it's business, it's underwriting, it's guidelines. So as much as it seems frustrating that, hey, page 9 was not initialed or dated, it is a contract and it's supposed to be done correctly. So we'll go through it and make sure that everything is there. It is critical that page 10 is filled out, okay? Majority of the time on page 10, you're not gonna know who the title company is when you're making that offer. We understand that, okay? We get that. But your information is important. With TRID, with the new financial reform that took place in 2016, I need to know your DRE, the broker's DRE, your address, your email, your full name, because we have to vet that information now in our systems, and it's all a part of everything. So when you are writing your contracts, if you just put like your name and your phone number and you don't put your address, it's just a little bit more work for the lenders, because then we have to find you, and sometimes that information is not the easiest to find online, like where's your address, what's your cell phone number, and you would not be surprised, we see them a lot being blank. So if you can have that filled out, that's just a very key piece of information that speeds up the process for us dramatically, and we can ask you guys less questions, okay? With the title company, we get it. We don't know who the title company is when you're writing that offer. So we'll just reach out to you when the offer is accepted and get that title information from you. Not a big deal. I want to talk about credits. So it is not uncommon to have a buyer's agent or a seller agent credit, okay? But it is important when you get that information to us. We need it sooner than later. What we find in the market is, in the past, it was no big deal if you guys gave us an addendum to the contract, you know, 5 days before closing, that you're going to give your clients $5,000. Okay, now that has to be underwritten and approved because it's a third-party contribution. It's not allowed. It's just something that we have to get back into an underwriter and document. So if you're going to be doing credits, try to get them upfront in addendum and make sure that the lender has them. If halfway through the process, you know, your clients wiggled out $2,000 from you, or you wiggled out $2,000 from the listing agents or the sellers, right? Just let the buyer or the lender know as soon as possible, okay? Because generally what we like to do is have that addendum with the purchase contract, with the appraiser, saying that your seller credit, buyer credit, agent credit has no bearance on the value of this home, okay? In the jumbo world, at the back end, the underwriters can logic around that and approve that, but it doesn't need to be approved by an underwriter. In the conforming world, they generally want the appraiser to sign off on it. So it's just something that can delay the process on the back end. And we understand these things come up, right? But with credits, try to get that negotiated up front. And if you do get something that changes in the middle of the transaction, which does happen, just get that to the lender as soon as possible. Try to get it to the lender before final underwriting would be my suggestion, okay? Close of escrow dates, okay? Every lender is different. Every lender is different in this current environment and outside of this environment. You know, every lender has their niche programs and has their service level agreement, or, you know, what they can do for closing, okay? A broad spectrum. Right now, Wells Fargo is still running as the front runner in terms of closing on time, okay? We can still close on 30 days or less. Now, the reason why we're able to do that is because, truth be told, our refinance rates are garbage. Okay, I'm not competitive in the refinance market. We did this by design. Okay, we started taking on too many refinance applications, and then it starts to impact the ability of doing a purchase. When those refinances come in and they bog up everything they do, they bog up. You know, we've got clients that are submitting multiple applications with different lenders, and they're not giving us the things that we need to do in a timely manner. And we've got Reg B dates to be compliant with the federal government. So we took a standpoint where we don't want to lose relationships with our lenders. So our rates are higher for refinances, which our purchase rates are much, much more attractive than most lenders right now in this market, but we can close in 30 days or less. I know that US Bank is hurting. They're about 35 days plus. There are some times where there are high level producers that can get it done within 30 days, and that's going to be kind of consistent across the board. Citibank's in really bad shape because they just took on way too much refinances, and they basically stole the market for refinances for like 2 months. And they're not even accepting offers without a close of escrow at 45 days. They are not even looking at contingencies. Citibank is taking about 25 days for initial approval. Okay, understand the lender before you make the offer. Understand what their turn times are, what their SLAs are. Okay, Bank of America, they're backed up, but they're about 35 days. Now they've made some very big changes in the jumbo market, so you need to be aware of that when you're talking with them, and what their requirements are in this new market. So just understand what's the capability of each lender, okay? Every single deal is different. So when you're dealing with these guys, call these lenders. Where are you, okay? Here's how we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this, and we're gonna use these dates here, and I'm gonna throw you under the bus, but on the back end, we're best friends. We're gonna go out for coffee and drinks after this, okay? Addendums. Addendums happen. Addendums are important. Make sure that they're fully signed and executed. No big deal. As long as we have a fully signed, executed addendum, it's perfectly fine. Now, addendums would be maybe the appraisal comes in short and you guys renegotiate the purchase contract, okay, the purchase price. Addendums can be halfway through the transaction, we get a seller's rent back, okay? The seller wants 30-day rent back, fine. Okay, very traditional in this market. Just get those addendums to us before the close, before final underwriting is the most important thing. For rent backs, 60 days is the max for lenders. You cannot exceed 60 days. We will not approve the loan. We will counter you every single time. You can go up to 60 days, but that's the max for an approval from a lender, okay? Because the borrowers have signed documents that say that they're gonna move into that property within 60 days. So just understand that the max rent back, if there's financing, is 60 days. We went over fully executed contracts. It happens, we understand that. Usually if we can't get it from you, we'll get it from the title company, okay? The biggest topic that I wanna talk to you about is solar agreements in this market. If there is a solar that's being transferred on your guys' listing, on your guys' buyer's transaction, vet that information up front. It is taking time to work with these solar companies while they're working from home, and it's delayed transactions. Most of the transactions were delayed in the beginning of this year when COVID started. Now we're getting much more better at it, but we are seeing that solar contracts are taking time. So that is a hot topic that will delay everything. And that solar contract goes through its own review team. So what I would say is get your clients in contract, open up escrow, and then boom, if there's solar, get on it, get on it fast. It's very important. You need to work with the title company. They will direct you, okay? They're your point of contact. They have to do this day in and day out. They will help you, they will direct you. But that is gonna be a very, very hot topic in this market, okay?
Is that for both lease and purchase, or?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Because regardless if they purchased it out or leased it, now if it's purchased outright, it's not going to be an issue, right? Because there's not going to be any liens. If there's a lien, we have to file a UCC report. which basically means that they're going to release that lien so we can do our transaction and we put another lien down. So it's usually when it's the solar is financed, okay, that we're doing this. And we have to get to the buyers, we have to get them the new contract, they have to sign the new contract, the UCC filings, and then we have to underwrite that. So in this environment, I've seen that slow things down, okay? The other thing that I'm seeing slowing things down are VOEs, verification of employments. It's got much better in the last 2 months. And in the beginning of this whole crisis, it was a nightmare, okay? But we've got past that, and most everybody in the techie world's on the work number anyways, which is like a system that we can just ping and they give us the information for the VOE. So it really, really helps out. But solar agreements are a hot topic, okay? Get to them second day, just get it done. Get it off your plate.
What are you seeing for the negotiations if they don't qualify, or all their qualification amount went into the house and now they got a solar thing that they got to figure out? How does that work exactly? Or is that too much for this little setting?
So normally there's not a gigantic financial payment associated to them, right? So we usually don't have to factor those things into the ratios, right? Okay. Because it's just your PG&E bill basically. Now, if there are different times where they're taking over the purchase of a contract and then there's disclosed actual payments, we will have to take that into consideration, right? And we know that kind of stuff up front. And the listing agent will be telling you that kind of stuff. Okay. Generally, we don't have a problem with it unless your borrowers are right on the line. In the high balance conforming world, we could still bring your clients to 50% back end ratio. In the jumbo world, they're being very strict. It used to be 45. Now they like 43. They will go to 45 with gigantic compensating factors. So a little bit less flexibility in the jumbo world, more flexibility in the conforming world. We would kind of know this information up front. Majority of the time, it does not impact things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Could you tell me the amount of a jumbo loan?
$765,601.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now that's going to change every single year.
Okay.
Okay, up or down. So that's changed by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, by that urban housing department. It used to be 510. And then at one time it was 785, then it went down to 710, and now we're back to 765. Oh. So basically, as the price of homes increase with inflation, that number is going to steadily move up. Usually it moves up 20, 30, 40,000 per year. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it should move up or down next year, depending on what the market dictates.
Okay.
Okay. So knowing your lender, okay, I think it's important if you guys are new into the industry to sync up with the lender and just pick their brain, become their best friends. And I'm not saying that you guys have to hang out with them and go to the pool together, but you guys need to have like kind of a cordial conversation, right? You guys should have more of a work relationship versus just a business relationship, because your lenders are critical, right? Let's be honest, mortgage and real estate is a 24-hour job. 7 days a week. It never stops. Your clients are making offers Sunday at 12 o'clock. Okay. I had a client last night text me at 12 midnight, can you talk? And unfortunately I was available when I called him and we talked. Okay. I just couldn't sleep last night. So you guys know this, and if you don't, you will soon experience that mortgage and real estate never sleeps, right? So having that personal relationship with your mortgage guy is key. Okay, maybe your clients are pre-approved with some other guy, some mumbo jumbo guy out of like LA that you never heard of, and you can't get a hold of this guy, but you can get a hold of your mortgage guy at any time. You can text him, call him. You might want to let your clients know how valuable that connection is with your mortgage guy, and maybe they should start talking to your mortgage guy. Okay, it is frustrating when you can't reach to us. Now, we're in the same environment as you. Mortgage guys usually deal with a lot more volume, right? That's just the way it is. We're closing 15, 20, 30 transactions per month, where you guys are closing, hopefully 7 to 10 transactions, which would be fantastic, right? So with your mortgage guys, we're talking to clients. Every transaction, there's a husband and a wife, there's a listing and a buyer agent. We got a title company, And then we've got to mitigate with the appraisers and all that kind of good stuff, underwriters, processors. So generally we're on the phone a lot more. And having a clear line of communication is important. What I tell to all my agents is text me, don't call me, text me. Because I can text you immediately back like, hey, I'm on the phone with clients. I'll call you back in 15 minutes. Or, hey, I'm in this Zoom meeting like I just did now. I can't call you for another hour, right? But at least they know, and then they can set expectations. So texting is a huge tool. Use it, okay? It really works, and get to know your mortgage guy. It's very important for your business, okay? Very important for your business. So your mortgage guy is going to make you aware of turn times, SLA. They're going to make you aware of their niche programs at their company. Every company has a niche program, okay? US Bank is their 10-1 ARM. Wells Fargo is our 7-1 ARM, our 30-year fixed, okay? Citibank, I think, is 10-1 ARM also. And Bank of America, they used to be pretty competitive on their 30-year fixed, but they're kind of going through their own little thing right now. They've got some internal pricing investigations going on, and they've got some liquidity issues that are facing the market because they did a god-awful amount of the PPP loans. So if your clients have a pre-approval with Bank of America, please trust me, call them, find out what's going on. Has anything changed? I see this pre-approval was dated July 15th. It's now August 15th. Has anything changed? Have your guidelines impacted? Have you rerun the decision engine? It's critical in this moment to do these kind of things and ask these kind of questions, okay? This is a very unique market, all right? Things are changing rapidly, and you need to be aware of what's going on. So make sure you're talking with your mortgage guys, okay? Communication is very important with mortgage guys. Availability is very important with mortgage guys, and understand what they're able to meet in terms of contingencies. So what we're seeing right now in the conforming world for appraisal turn times is about 10 to 14 days. It's a little bit slower in the conforming world due to the high volume of refinances. Conforming is defined as $765,600 and below, okay? $601 is jumbo. So the jumbo world turn time for appraisals right now is about 10 to 12 days. So things are moving faster in the jumbo world versus the conforming world. Underwriting in the conforming world is taking initial approval. Initial is taking about 15 to 20 days. It's bad, okay? Literally from the sheer volume. Most loans across the country are in the conforming world, right? In the Bay Area, majority of our loans are in the jumbo world. You guys will not be playing too much in the high balance conforming world unless they're seasoned owners that are pulling equity from this property to the next property. Your first time home buyers generally will be in the jumbo world. So conforming world is taking about 15 to 20 days. That's what I'm telling all my clients. That's what I'm telling all my listing agents. My buyer's agents, they're not listening to me. They're still putting 10 to 15 days because we need to be competitive in this market and get offers accepted. Okay, I get it. I'm kind of, been beat up enough over the last 17 years to take what anybody has to say to me, and it doesn't really affect me, and we mitigate through it, and we just talk about this current environment, okay? Jumbo turn times for initial approval is about 10 to 12 days. So that's still in line. Again, here at Wells Fargo specifically, we focus on the purchase market, not the refinance market. So understanding that, if your buyer's in the conforming world, get them into a MCAL or a fully underwritten approval, all right? We can offer fully underwritten approvals for primary homes, secondary homes, investment properties. Okay, mortgage guys can do 1 unit to 4 unit. After 5 units, it becomes commercial property. Mortgage guys will not be able to help you out with that.
Michael, can
All
you
right.
have physicians loans?
Say this one more time.
Physicians loans, are they available still?
Doctor loans?
Yeah.
Yep. So that term was a term that we used in the distant past, probably about 4 years ago, okay? And that was in the jumbo world that we would get physicians into loans with like 10% down. Okay. That product about 4 years ago was just for physicians, which has actually opened up to the whole general market. It has been taken away in this current environment that we're in. So in the jumbo world, the minimum down payment for a primary home is 20% based upon the loan amount. Okay. But there are no jumbo less than 20% down options here at Wells Fargo. The only bank that I'm aware of that will do less than 20% down in the jumbo market is Citibank. Okay. If you have clients that are less than 20% down in the jumbo market that go to Citibank, please make sure you talk to that Citibank person, because they are very behind. They're closing escrows in 45 to 50 days. Okay. Now that's not uncommon. You know, the rest of the country usually moves like up north, Washington and Oregon, they're generally 45-day close of escrow. That's the standard, right? It's only here in the Bay Area that everybody wants everything yesterday. Okay. So again, you know, I work a lot with Mira. That's why I'm talking with you guys. We've negotiated contracts for 60 days in Dublin, contingent on another home selling, and had no problems with it. Okay. Now, I've had other clients making 60-day offers, and we've had problems. Mostly it's how the offer is presented, right, by the listing agent. So be very, by the buyer's agent. So be very diligent when you're talking to those listing agents, when you're making your offer. Ask them, what are you looking for? What are your clients interested in? Are they moving? Is this a contingent offer for them? You know, is this a second home and there's no huge rush, so they're specifically looking for money? Or these guys are looking to get the cleanest deal. You know, money is important, but not the most important thing. We need to close fast, right? So talk to these guys about it, all right? Understand, you know, the offers. If you see something that's, there's two kind of offers right now, okay, or listings right now. An active listing that's at the current market value, or an under listing, okay? Under listing, they're trying to make a bidding war. That's still going on, all right? Generally, what you'll see with that is like a bunch of eights at the end of it, 888, okay? That lets you kind of know the demographics of who's selling the house, and it also lets you know that they're probably looking for overbidding on that property. Let your clients know that, okay? Let them know that, you know, that's going to impact the availability and what you could do for them. I think that, did that answer your question?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Can you hear them? Michael? Oh no, did we lose him?
I think maybe we did.
Did you guys see I put his contact info in the chat because somebody asked for it, so I put it in there. Did we lose you, Michael? Was he pretty much wrapping up?
Yeah, I think so. I think he
Okay.
had one more point to make, but I think we lost him.
Darn it.
Yes.
Are you there, Michael? Was that helpful though, you guys?
Very.
Super helpful.
Good.
Yes, that was great.
I logged in, I think 2 or 3 minutes late. I don't know if he went over FHA.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
You know, certainly you can contact him directly and ask some questions around that. I don't know, you guys, did he go over FHA at the beginning?
Very little.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know that he did that.
Okay.
But one of the points I heard him make was how important it is for you guys to have a relationship with your lender. And frankly, in my business, have always had about 3 different lenders I work with, because the same lender doesn't necessarily work with all of your clients. And so you want to have 3 or so, 2 to 3 lenders in your back pocket. That's how I say it, that
Okay.
you know you can recommend to people that you know, oh, here he comes, that you know will do a good job.
Okay.
So let's see. Okay, there, are you back?
I'm back. I
Okay.
lost you guys at the very end there. So
that actually was the end of everything and wrapped up everything for you guys. I'm available for questions, but we're past.
Are you there?
Get my contact information from Mira. Before I let you go, are there any questions for me?
And I did put your contact info in the chat already, so they have that.
So if I can ask a quick question, I know everybody wants to go, but in the topics of what I'm looking for to have my back pocket lenders, I want one like Wells Fargo that offers conforming and 1.7, all that, 5.1, 7.1, all that. What are my other ones that I'm looking for? The back pockets.
You mean like niche programs and
Yes.
stuff like that that different lenders have?
Yeah, is that just product based, or is that, what does that mean exactly?
So niche products, so each individual lender has a niche product. Like I said, US Bank, their niche product where are very competitive is their 10-1 arm, okay? That's where their lowest rate is. Where Wells Fargo's lowest rates are our 7-1 arms and our 30-year fixes, right? Bank of America usually is low on their 30-year fixed, and US Bank is 10-1 arm, Citibank is 10-1 arm, right? So your clients might be very much into ARM programs. Send them to those guys right off the bat, right?
And you guys know what ARM? You guys know what ARM stands for?
You should. We just went over it.
Oh, that's full rate mortgage.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I appreciate the opportunity, guys. Thank you so very much for your time on a Friday.
Michael.
You're welcome. If you guys
Michael.
you're welcome questions, please just contact Mira. She'll give you my personal contact information.
Yeah, actually, so don't contact Mira, but I put your contact info is in the chat for everybody. Okay.
Oh, perfect. Yep, even better.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Laura.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.